Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian from Ridgeback Productions, and I help beginning voiceover talents grow their business and generate income. One of your most favorite ways that I do that is with gig reviews, because I get a lot of requests to do a gig review. Essentially what that is I look at your Fiverr gig and I give you my genuine thoughts on what I feel would work best and how you can maybe make some adjustments to generate some more income or get some stuff going in your gig. I kind of look at it from the buyer's perspective. If that's something you're interested in, I can offer that service to you as well. If you go down into the description below, there is a link for a gig review, and I'd be happy to do that for you. So what happened was Phil reached out and said, I'd love to have a gig review. Filled out the form, and here we are. Not all of them go on YouTube. There's a little form that you fill out, and it gives you the option of saying yes or no if you want your review to be eligible for YouTube. Most people say yes. Only a tiny fraction actually go on the channel, just because it takes a lot. There's the recording, the editing. It's a lot to produce a YouTube video. Sometimes I just push out a video to you without it going on YouTube, and it's just a lot faster. But times like this, I like to post a video on the channel just so you can see what's going on. So what we're doing in this video is we're going to have a look at Phil's Fiverr voiceover gig, and I'm going to give it a little review. I'll try not to be too mean to you, Phil. Let's go. All right, here we are. I like to start from the top and we move down to the bottom. First thing we look at is your title. So I'm looking for what do you do, what gender are you, and where are you from? It's kind of like the big three things that buyers search for. It says, I will record an American male voiceover with 1-day delivery. That's not too bad. It's not very often that I see in the title somebody posts what their delivery time frame is. I love it. The challenge with that, Phil, and I'm not saying that you can't do it. The challenge is by putting that in the title, you're almost guaranteeing that you can do 1-day delivery. And I'd be willing to bet that your gig is set up, or at least it should be set up, so that you have a limit on the word count that you can do in 1 day. For example, it's approximate, but about an hour of finished recording audio for like an audiobook would be about 9,600 words. Now that's going to take you longer than an hour to record, but by the time you produce it, edit it, it's all finished and done. Finished audio, about an hour of finished audio is about 9,600 to 2,000 words, depending on how quickly you read. Well, if you're a beginning voiceover talent, that ratio might be 3 to 1, 4 to 1. So you're looking at about 4 hours or 3 hours of work just to get that one finished hour of work. Well, a lot of people on their gig, myself included, have a cap on their word count that they're willing to deliver in 1 day. All that to say, Phil, your title is excellent. I do like it. Just be cautious that if you're going to make the claim, you're going to do it in 1 day. Just be cautious that what happens if somebody orders 2,000 words from you? Can you do it? What about 4,000? Now, you're going to be making some serious money on this, so you might have the incentive of, yeah, I'll make it happen in a day. And chances are that's probably what you're going to say. You're all, yeah, Brian, for that money, I will. But just letting it be said, be cautious of making the claim that you'll do it in 1 day, because perhaps you can't. And we'll get to that in the summary with 1-day delivery and what that means in a moment. Okay, great. Title looks good. You got your gender, you got what you do, and you got where you're from, American. Great. Your Fiverr profile picture, it looks good. I like it. I wish it was a little bit closer. You got to think how tiny are these little profile pictures. It's kind of nice when they're a little bit bigger and you can see it, just being nitpicky, but if you want a buyer to remember you, it's nice when they can see your face. Your profile picture is a little small. It's kind of hard to see your face. Let's look at your summary. 1-day delivery with 1 revision. Those are all great things. I highly recommend that. You're doing $5 for 100 words. I mean, you do you in your business, But I've said this before, and it's definitely worth repeating. That $5 market on Fiverr in voiceover is really, really saturated with AI. And what I'm finding, what I'm hearing from people that work for the platform and work in the platform a lot like myself, that $5 market isn't really getting bought very much with real people. A lot of people that are willing to spend, they only want to spend $5. They're typically hiring AI. Now, I can't guarantee it. You do whatever you want to do, Phil. If I was to give you a recommendation, I'd bump that up to $10 or $15. But, there's also the flip side of you're more likely to get hired at $5, but you're competing with AI. So that's a challenge. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe experiment, just if I had to give you a hard answer, I'd say I'd go 10 or 15, but maybe $5 is working for you. I mean, I see you got a review. I see you got one in the queue. So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But that's good. 1-day delivery is good. So I said we were going to get back to the 1-day delivery as far as the summary goes. You definitely want to have 1-day delivery. The difference between having it in your summary and having it in your title. In your title, it's like, essentially, you're saying no matter what, I'm going to deliver in a day. In your summary, you're saying I can deliver in a day, but then as the word count goes up, that changes. So just for hypotheticals, Phil could set his 500 words. After 500 words, that'll take 2-day delivery. So if I'm a buyer and I enter in a word count of 100, it's going to say 1 day. If I put 400, it's still 1 day. If I put 450, because that's how long my script is, it's still 1 day. The moment that I type in that my script is 500 plus 502 words for my script, it's now going to tell me 2-day delivery if that's how Phil has it set. So you want your summary to state that because that's what you set in the background. This all goes back to just be cautious of making that claim in your title because to me, that reads as no matter what, I will deliver in 1 day. So just be cautious, Phil. All right. Summary looks good. Let's look at your thumbnail. I like your thumbnail. So what I'm looking for in the thumbnail is they call it in photography and videography the rule of thirds. So 1/3 of the size, the ratio, the frame, picture, video, whatever, 1/3 of that image should be you. So you're kind of in the 1/3. Again, just like your profile picture, I'd go bigger. Instead of it cutting off right here, and excuse me for looking, but you are a handsome man. Instead of cutting off at your crotch, maybe zoom in a little bit more and let's cut off like just below your hands. So it still shows shirt below your hands and fingers, but you can zoom in a little bit more. I kind of like the headroom that you have, but you could zoom in a little bit more and fill out that frame a bit more. And I think that would be better. So if that's 1/3, then 2/3 is text and bright text, bold text that stands out, minimal text. Phil, you nailed it. You're a voice talent. Great. There's your name. And then you have a few things that you can do, which is fast and reliable. I like it. In general, this is an exceptional thumbnail. I mean, nitpicky, don't redo it. But if you want to redo it, I wish you were a little bit bigger in the thumbnail. Okay. So this is your first impression demo reel. When a buyer goes and is searching for a voiceover talent, the first thing that they see in somebody's gig is their first impression demo. That should be a reel, which is every 8 to 12 seconds, you're switching spots to something different, and it should be a video. Fiverr says you're like 66% more likely to get hired if you have a video. Definitely have a video. Okay, so your reel should be 8 to 12 seconds showing your range of what you can do. Hit them with all the different tones that you claim that you can do and give them a wide variety. That way, if they hear that first one and they don't like it, you're already switching and giving them something new before they have a chance to click off you. And if they hear something in the first slot that they don't necessarily like, and then they hear something in the second slot that they don't necessarily like, that's okay. But if you're demonstrating that you have range and there's different, then chances are they're going to stick around because they're like, well, I've already heard 2 things he can do. Let's see what else he can do. But if those first 2 are like so identical and similar, they're like, okay, got it. I've already given him 2 chances and it's like the same thing. And then they go away. That's like a big challenge when you're just starting out in VO is you don't really know what your range is and you kind of stick to one thing you're really good at. All right. All that to be said, let's look and make sure that this is a video fill, make sure it's a reel, and I'm going to be listening for range. Let's find out together.
We gave it more passenger space for ultimate comfort. We elevated the design.
Obviously a video.
And with Google built in, we made its tech intuitive. With the all-new Prologue, we've made it easy to go electric.
Let's switch.
Just like you'd expect from a Honda.
Okay, not bad.
The thing that's different about a Verbo vacation home, you always have the whole place to yourself.
This range is different
it's just
than
you
the first slot.
And your people. Because why would you ever share your vacation
Give me something
home
different for 3.
with someone you wouldn't share your vacation with? Oh no, running low? With Chewy, always keep their bowl full. Save 35% on your first auto ship order.
This is really good, Phil.
Get the food they love, delivered again and again. The perfect summer is waiting. The perfect summer is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Okay.
Switch to Verizon Home Internet with whole home Wi-Fi included. Plus, get Verizon for mobile at home and save $300 a year, only at Verizon.
Okay, and then you have your thumbnail at the end. Okay, so
we gave it more passenger space.
Few things. In general, it's great. This is really good, Phil. So one is your thumbnail is a little long. You don't need that much time. By shortening the amount of time that your thumbnail is in the video, you really only need it for like 1 second. That allows you more time to fit something in. Now, if your spots would have gone and maxed out at 12 seconds, and yes, I know that is difficult, but that's why we say shoot for 8 and then kind of can go all the way up to 12. If you keep in the 8 to 12, you could have fit one more slot in there, and that, that's just only to your advantage. All your spots are really good. I really like it. We're not going to go back and listen to it. Your Michigan spot, I liked. I think you missed an opportunity on that one to demonstrate a more calm tone because I can hear it in your voice. I didn't hear it in any of your deliveries, but it really just calm and soothing and comforting delivery for that Michigan ad would have fit really well. Now, what you did it fit well. It sounded good, but it was similar to other stuff you had. You kind of missed a spot where you could have just really given them something totally different. And that would have been like 4 different ranges that you had. I mean, naturally, it's hard to have a whole bunch. I mean, you kind of can be only good at a couple things. But this was good. I heard 4 distinct ones. I mean, 3, 4, maybe 4 distinct ones. Had that Michigan ad been real calm. And, this is just Michigan. And, well, welcome to our state and the beautiful lakes, whatever. I don't know what the words were. Just a nice, calm, soothing, not meditative, but, somewhere along those lines. You could have done it. I definitely hear that in your voice. That could be a good tone for you to use as well. But it was great. It was really good. The last slot, I can't remember what it was. It was great. Well done, just like the rest of your demo. But it sounded like other things that I had heard earlier on. But that's okay because it was kind of, you had a good separation in them. You were talking about something different. Well put together. If you're a viewer and you're really looking for, how do I do this? Maybe go back and watch how Phil laid this out. It's very well put together and I do like it. I think you started off with a little bit of high energy. Certainly the music is high energy.
We gave it more passenger space for ultimate comfort. We elevated the design.
And I know exactly where you got this music from. It sounds great. I've used it and I've heard it many times. It sounds good. It's kind of upbeat and hey, and that's kind of how you want to start your demo off is fire like that. And then you can slow it down, speed it up, and then play with their emotions with your delivery and the music. It sounds great, man. You did a good job on your demo. I am going to give you an A on this demo. It is really well put together, Phil. Good on you. Okay. So Fiverr gives you 4 spots. Your first impression demo reel, and then you get 3 more chances to put other demos. They don't have to be demo reels, just 3 different spots. They could be full length, 15-second, 30-second spots, 60 seconds, whatever you want. They don't have to be a reel, but use those. And I can visually see, Phil, you don't have that. So you have your first impression demo reel. You have a 2. You have a 3. And then you have a picture, which we'll get to in a moment. So you're missing a demo. Add another demo. The idea of these 4 demos is your first impression demo reel. It's like, that's just like the hook. You boom, bring them in so they click on your gig. And if you don't know what I'm talking about by click on your gig, obviously you know what click on your gig means. But as a buyer, when I'm looking for a voiceover talent, all I have to do is hover over the thumbnails and it plays. I don't even have to give your gig a click. So you're not getting any clicks just when I listen to your thing. Now you'll get an impression because you showed up, but you're not even getting a click. So if you want them to click on your gig and dig into what you really have, you got to pull them in with that first impression demo reel. Yours is good, Phil. Once they're there, though, there's 3 more chances to keep them going. You have 2. You should have 3. Go into your gig and add another one. Okay, let's hear your number 2. It should not be anything that repeats in your demo reel that I just heard.
Olive Garden's never-ending first course. It's always on us. Because more of the good stuff means more of the best stuff.
That's good. That's good. And if you notice, I just said it doesn't have to be long. This is 9 seconds. Short is fine. What I would do, though, Phil, is add some music to it. Add a music bed to it. What Phil just did is raw audio. Or a raw delivery, even if it's processed, there's nothing on it. It's not produced in any way as far as music. Always, if you can, well, it depends. I shouldn't say always. Most of the time, certainly with promos and commercials, put a little music. Because even if the buyer doesn't like the music, it still carries the VO and helps it come along. Now, there are some things that you wouldn't put music to. For example, if you don't want to put music on an e-learning demo, medical narration, some corporate narration, well, it depends. A lot of corporate narration I do has music on it. It's good. Okay, let's hear your 3rd spot. Ooh, new thumbnail. Good choice because I actually prefer this one. This one is nice. Yeah, I like it. I like it. This one you almost look like you're like squinting, which is fine, but you kind of look like you're squinting. Okay.
Welcome to ClickTime's Project Insights video overview. Project Insights is a suite of powerful budgeting, forecasting, and management tools created exclusively for businesses that track time. This video will cover
this is good. This is a good e-learning demo. And just like I just had mentioned earlier, you don't necessarily need a music bed with e-learning. This is great. I like it. We just heard your 3rd spot. You should have, we should hear your 4th. You don't have a 4th. Get that in there, Phil. All right, so you can add pictures. Pictures are great. If you're going to add a picture, make the picture have text so it has some information. You did good, Phil. The problem is I really wish it wasn't a thumbnail because you have a thumbnail and now you have really small text. And I have a really big monitor in front of me. Even on this big monitor, it's kind of hard to read that text when You could have gotten rid of the thumbnail and it could have been the whole picture could have just been the text, nice and big. And it doesn't have to be paragraph form. It could be like just real informational stuff like, starting at only $5, I'll deliver in just one day. Provide a small clip of your script for free. Basic gig price includes just real bullet points just so the buyer can see stuff. You don't want them to have to read a whole thing because honestly, that's already in the about the gig, so you don't need to put it in a picture. So I like the thought here, Phil, but it's not working. Do a different one. I would just do, if you want to have a picture, put a picture, but make it just be bullet points of what you offer and highlights of how good you are, fast communication, all that good stuff. Don't put a paragraph like what you have and you don't need the thumbnail. Okay. Looking good. Let's scroll down. Your about this gig is literally about the gig and not about you or anything. It's about the gig. Think about it like when you do online shopping, if I'm going to go buy a pen, I don't want to read about the pen company and how long they've been in business and how much they just love making pens. I want to read about the pen. What's it going to do for me? How's it going to help me? How much am I, why am I going to like it? All that good stuff. All right, here's what you got. I'll happily deliver your 100-word script in my athletic starting at $5 within one day. Prior to recording your project, I'll provide you a small clip of your script to make sure you're happy with my tone, style, and speed. Okay, great idea. But I would put, how would I phrase this? Because I like that idea. Here's the challenge. If I'm a buyer, okay, well, not me. Here's the challenge, Phil, and all of you. If somebody places an order and then they ghost you and don't reply to you, and you've sent them a sample for approval and they don't get back to you, how long are you going to wait before you produce the whole thing? Because you're on a timeline to deliver. They're not on a timeline to reply. So what I would do is I'd put something in the text to the fact of, and I like that you're giving them a small clip to approve. If you'd like, something like that, prior to recording your project, if you would like, I can provide a small clip of your script to make sure you're happy with my tone, style, speed. It is a good idea to get their approval first off, but I can't tell you how many times, and I have clients that are brand new or that I've worked with for a long time that sometimes they just don't get back to you right away. And it's not because they don't care. It's just they're busy. They got other stuff. It's like, okay, cool. I ordered from Phil. All that's taken care of. I got other stuff I got to do. I know Phil will take care of it. He'll deliver when he's ready. And, they overlook the messages going, hey, does this sound good? And then you end up waiting around and then you rush the VO because you were waiting. So just be cautious of that. Project will deliver and everything specify way. Great. All right. Okay, this is good. I like that you say all project utilizing my voice for da-da-da-da-da-da. That's great. And I agree. Be prepared, all of you. Be prepared if you make a statement like this, and I love this statement, be prepared. What are you going to do if someone challenges you on this and is not willing to buy the licenses? Do you stick to your guns, so to speak, and lose the order or lose the possible order, or do you do it either way? I don't have an answer for you. I know what I do for my business, and I do have recommendation, but you need to make that decision for yourself. But you're absolutely right. If it's marketing, advertising, promotion, investment, they should. Just what if they don't want to? Are you going to lose the money? What's more important? To get the order, get the 5-star review, start growing on Fiverr, or make sure that they buy the appropriate license? I know it's extra money, but you weigh what's more important to you. Okay, my services include but are not limited to. That's great. Here's the genres that you do. I do not record scams, outbound sales, telemarketing calls, or erotic content. Okay. I'm not fighting you on this, Phil. I love it. Don't do any of this. Question, though. If I'm a buyer and I want to hire you for outbound sales for my real estate company. Let's say I'm a real estate agent and I want to record you reading a short little sales blurb that says, now on the market on Shady Tree Lane is a beautiful 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, conveniently located in the Copper Canyon neighborhood of, wherever. And then I want to use that, and I'm going to send that out to all the people that have talked to me and shown interest in buying a house. I want to let them know that this is out there. That is outbound sales. I am not saying that you need to do that, but I see there's a similarity between scams, erotic content, and telemarketing that I get. All of those could be bothersome and newsome, or you don't want to be the voice of that. Got it. And I'm not saying you need to be the voice of outbound sales, but just know that there are different levels to outbound sales that aren't telemarketing calls. They are outbound and they're unsolicited. So I get that if you don't want to do that work, just know that is an option. People hire for that, and it's not always uninvited harassment. We'll leave it at that. Okay. I look forward to being the trusted voice of your project. Please contact me right away to get started. Perfect. You have a call to action. Love it. Definitely always want to have a call to action at the end. In fact, if I can, before we skip this, if I can just say for your call to action, not only do you want them to contact you, tell them to order. All of you should have at the very end of your About This Gig, order now. Click continue to get started. Tell them what to do. Some people just need that added little push them to get them over the edge to place the order. And that's what a call to action does. Okay. Looking at the language. Yeah. Language, English, male. All good. Your purpose, video narration's the number one selling voiceover. It's the number one selling purpose in voiceover, video narration. Make sure you have video narration. Whatever purpose you choose after that is great. Play around with them. E-learning and commercial for you, Phil, is great. I can see it. It seems very fitting of your style. Your tone is calming, conversational, corporate, deep, friendly. If you're going to say these tones, put them in your demo. I can't repeat that enough. If you're going to say that you can do it, demonstrate it in your demos. I heard all of those. I didn't hear deep. Deep is an interesting one. You all hear my voice. You've been listening to this video. You can hear all my videos. You can hear all my work. I don't have a deep voice. Now, males do have a deeper voice than females. I don't have a deep voice. Phil, I don't think you have a deep voice. Deep in the sense of deep voice is much deeper than you, Phil, much deeper than me. I know this because I used to say I had a deep voice. I used to have a gig for a deep voice until I had people reach out to me and tell me, you don't have a deep voice. This is not what I'm looking for. And so I stopped doing that. And that's when I realized there's like male deep voice, and then there's like the serious deep. I can't even do it. There's the legit deep voice. Phil, you don't have it. My recommendation, change that tone to something else. Okay. Man, look at you, dude. You're crushing. Okay. 48 5 stars. That's great, man. You're doing well in the business. So I definitely recommend you bump up this price, man. Let's go to 10 or 15 for sure. Okay. I mean, I thought you were brand new, and if you're brand new, then it's a little different. Okay. All right. This is big. Your average response time, you need to all make sure it's 1 hour. It can't be less than that, but if it's over that, then you need to really, really work on responding faster to buyers when people message you. You need to get that response time down to an hour. Great. Okay. Honestly, the About This Seller is it's all just like fun, informational stuff. I don't know how much people buy from you because of it. Sometimes things will strike their fancy and they'll be like, oh, that's cool. He likes kayaking. Huh, I do too. They might bring it up to you. Every once in a while, I'll have a buyer, ask me about something that's in mine, but it is what it is. Okay. Order details. These are good. Okay. All right. I'm not going to talk too long on this just because I hate talking about rights. You're charging $20 for 1 year and $40 for 1 year. So $20 for a year of commercial rights, $40 for perpetuity of commercial rights. I'm sure you know exactly what you're doing, Phil. Those of you that don't know, here's the difference. If they're buying commercial rights, they can buy them from Phil for a year only for $20. Okay? But if they want those commercial rights because they're going to keep using it for longer than a year, they need to buy them in perpetuity. Selling rights is so freaking hard. It is so freaking hard. So now take the element of selling rights and split it into, do you want it in perpetuity or do you want it for a year? It's a challenge. I'm not saying don't try and sell rights. You should sell rights because they need to buy the rights, but I just really have issues with the rights. It is a challenge, but good on you, Phil. I hope it's working for you. My suggestion is I don't even offer 1 year rights. I just do it in perpetuity because what's going to happen in a year? Are you going to track them down to see if they're still using it? Most buyers are going to say they only want it for a year. Sorry, my phone keeps going off. Most buyers are going to say that they only want it for a year, and then they're just going to keep using it regardless if they still need it. And what are you going to do? You're going to take them to court because they're just saying. I have strong feelings about commercial broadcast rights on Fiverr. Okay, let's go down. All right, you should have 10 FAQs. You only have 4, add 10. So you need to put 6 more in here, Phil. Talk about your commercial rights, broadcast, good, pronunciation. What does one free revision? Oh, that's clever. I don't know that I've seen that in a long time. A full re-record or speed tone style is going to be billed at 50% of the original total. That's pretty smart. Okay, you need to have 10 FAQs. Fiverr strongly encourages it, and it's just that they know that buyers want to read FAQs to make sure that everything's clear. So add 6 more FAQs. It's good. Okay, here's your tags. Your tags should not duplicate any words that are in your title, but your title and tags are the number one selling spots that people, for the keywords that people type. I can't talk right now. For the keywords that people type to find you, it searches your title, it searches your related tags. That said, the biggest one that all of you need to check your gig and make sure that you have this is if you are using voiceover as one word in your title, then voice space over needs to be in your tags. Flip that. If you're using voice space over in your title, then voiceover one word needs to be in your tag. That is so frequently interchanged all the time. So if it's one word in your title and someone puts voice space over, you want to catch them on that one too. Make sure it's in your tags. You don't have that, so you need to add that, Phil. So that means you're going to have to get rid of one of these tags. You do you figure out which one you want to get rid of, but you need to add voiceover. I'll let you know which one. Let's look at your title. You have one word voiceover in your title. That means voice space over needs to be one of your, one of your tags down here. Okay. Other than that, there's other terms that buyers do use to find us. Voice talent, voice artist. I would just change some of these out. I don't know how much people are going to find you with these. I like using voice artist, voice talent, voice over, play around with that kind of stuff. Let's go back up to the top. Let's get you your big takeaway. Phil, there's nothing that hugely stands out to me, and I'm being like super honest. Like, this is pretty good, man. This is a pretty tight gig. It's very well put together. If I was to change one thing that I think would like help you, gosh, if I was to say one thing that's going to help you, I would definitely change your rate. Right now, you're only charging $5. This gig only has one review, but your profile has a lot more. Now, does that mean that you've actually earned those as a buyer or from other gigs? Yes, but that's okay. I think it could hugely help your business if you just increase what you're charging. I think you're better than $5. And, if I could be like 100% honest, I think it's a great place to start off, but like $5, those are the cheap seats, and you're not a cheap seat voice talent. None of you are, but sometimes it helps getting orders, and sometimes clients don't click on the $5 people because they don't want to sit in the cheap seats. They want someone a little bit nicer than the cheap seats, and it kind of sets you at that standard. Like, I don't know how often you go grocery shopping, but there's certain things that I just won't buy if it's cheap because, well, I just like it too much. Peanut butter is a great example. I'm not going to buy cheap peanut butter. I don't mind spending a little extra money to get the good stuff because I just enjoy it and that's what I want. And believe me, there's buyers out there that want to spend a little bit more money for quality, and $5 doesn't always come across as quality. Nice. I hope you got a lot out of this, Phil. It was a pleasure doing this gig review for you. Again, if you're interested in having me look at your gig, have a look in the description down below. There's a link to click on, fill out a short little form. I could do this for you. Most of the time, these gig reviews turn into a consultation because that's really where the most value is. We get to spend an hour plus together really going over all this stuff and making sure it's all dialed in. We can go through your gig, go through your business, and just really helps you out a tremendous amount. I'm not even going to throw the ratio of how many people go to a consultation because I get teased on that all the time. Suffice it to say, it's a lot. Most people go for the consultation because that's really where the real value is. Hey, if you could take a minute to subscribe to this video, that really helps the YouTube algorithm to spread the wealth. It's a pleasure giving these out for you. I'm sorry I don't release them quite as much as I would like to. It's just business is busy and I don't have as much time to make YouTube videos sometimes, but I love being there for you and I love working with you. If you have any questions, you can always email me or drop a comment down below and I'll reply for you. I hope your business is just thriving and kicking butt. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks. See ya.